Well, hello, Stampers. It's the Pampered Stamper. And when you guys are watching this, it will be my mother's birthday. And my dear mama is going to be 91. Okay, so as you were watching this, 10 o'clock is like the holy grail for coffee time for anyone of Dutch descent. 10 a.m. is coffee time, and one never has a naked cup of coffee. So coffee will be served with mom's favorite cake. I'm making her a mocha sponge cake. So it's a really light, fluffy sponge cake filled with a buttercream icing that has strong coffee mixed into it, and it is amazing. And the trick is that you beat the butter till it's super, super fluffy, and then you add in the icing sugar, and then you add in a little bit of espresso, super strong coffee, and it's an amazing, simple icing. So let me know if you ever end up trying it. I know that was a super detailed recipe for you. So, in honor of my mother's birthday, I am making a card with birds. My mom loves birds, and she's passed that love for birds on to me. Now, I have to say that both of the stamp sets that I'm using today and the paper, it's all retiring. I love this stuff. So, be sure to order it before it's gone. The links will be in the description under the video. The next thing you need to do is click the subscribe button, the red button on the bottom. And when you click on that button, a bell icon will pop up. Click on that too so that you get notified when I go live or when I post a video. And that way you don't miss a thing. And you get a chance to win the Eden's Garden bundle. So if you subscribe and if you comment, you will go into the draw, which will happen when I get to 5,400 subscribers. So we're well on our way to that. So I'm excited. Thank you for being here. So let's take a look. Here we have the Abigail Rose paper. I love it. I'm using just this striped paper on here. It's petal pink. It's gorgeous. If you love vintage, I've done a bunch of cards with this. You can find them on my blog. Just Google the Pampered Stamper. You'll find me everywhere. And I love this paper. I've done some beautiful vintage cards also on YouTube. So be sure to check around. I would order this paper as soon as you can. There's a stamp set that goes with it, Cottage Rose, and I didn't have a chance to see if that has retired or not. So that's the one side. Let's flip it. And then this is the other side. So you've got some really great vintage paper. Okay, so that's that. I thought before I get making the card, we're going to do a bit of a show and tell. And maybe I'll use this underneath for grid paper. So we'll put that away. And then I am using these tiny little loose daisy embellishments. They will be in the new catalog, but they're super cute. There's tiny little leaves on the flowers. So that'll also be in my list. We are using the crinkled seam binding ribbon. What's really nice, the best thing about this ribbon, there's two things that are amazing. One is that it's really, really thin, so it doesn't add bulk to your cards. And number two, you can color it with your blends, which is what we're going to do. We're going to make it vintagey and we're going to color it with the crumb cake blend. This is the main stamp set that we're using. It's called Nested Friends, and it has beautiful dies, which I'm going to show you in a minute. Then we're going to use Wisteria Wishes. The only thing we're using from Wisteria Wishes for this card is this die right here. And you're going to see something really special about that leaf die, okay? I bought this Wisteria set just for the leaf die. And I'll show you one of the cards I made with it. I'm doing an online Zoom class, and look at this. And this card uses the free acetate sheet that you get when you buy a photopolymer stamp set. So don't throw those away, okay? I'll be doing more on this later, sharing a link as to when the class will be, okay? So that leaf is gorgeous. The next thing we're going to use, and you're going to say, what the heck? Are we using a Christmas stamp set? Well, take a look. We're using this die, okay? That's it for that one. And then the last thing we're going to use is these. And this is a new online exclusive. They are 3 embossing folders sold in a bundle. And we're using the one with the crosshatch. So there's a great big polka dot. I'm using the crosshatch one today. And then there is this one that looks like, yeah, it's hard to tell. I'll put my hand under it. Looks like daisies. So, and then the crosshatch one helps. So they're called basics because they are basic. We're going to use those a lot. Okay, now do you want to see the dies from the Nested Friends? I do. Let's take a look. I will be doing this in a stamping through my stash as well, stamping all the images, but today I'm using mostly the dies. And look at that. So what I wanted to show you is these little leaf dies come in the set, but they match perfectly with the big one from Wisteria. So you can mix and match this. So what I'm doing for my card is I'm taking the nest image and then you layer this detailed one on here. You could also just do it like this. That looks nice too. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it like this and like this. And then we're going to tuck some leaves underneath. And then we're going to put it on a branch. And then we're going to add the bird. I haven't decided yet exactly where we're going to put the bird. And then we're going to tuck a few eggs in the nest. Okay. Isn't that cute? So that's what happens with this set. It's beautiful. So let's see what other pieces I have. I made a bow with linen thread and with that seam binding ribbon. So what I want to show you is how to get that white ribbon to look like this. Okay, so we're going to do that. So I'm going to take my Crumb Cake Light blends. It's a Stampin' Blends, and I'm using the brush tip marker. They have a brush tip and they have a fine tip, and the lids are tight on there. So when you put it back on, you're going to hear that loud click. You want to hear that click, otherwise your blends are going to dry out. So what you do is I'm holding it kind of flat, and I'm just going over top of my ribbon. And it's really nice because you can now make this ribbon in whatever color you want. So instead of buying, because sometimes a spool of ribbon has like 10 yards, sometimes 5 yards. And people say, well, I don't need that much ribbon. Well, with this one, you can customize it to whatever color you want. So that's awesome. I didn't check to see if it's in the new catalog. I will let you know. You know what? I can check that in a minute. Okay, so this is a triple ribbon, so I'm doing a fairly long piece. I used to kind of think that this was crazy. I thought, oh, I'm going to dry out my blends. You know what? Those blends go for a long time. You can also use your ink pad, but the blends are a lot neater. You don't get inky fingers. And now what I want to check to see, did it go through to the other side? We're going to find out in a minute. And you know, I don't edit my videos. So if I was editing my videos, I'd probably speed this piece up. But you can fast forward. I mean, you'll miss some of my story, but. So I don't know if I told you that Mom is 91 today. And we were all wondering what would happen when Pop died, because they were together for so long, 62 years. They got married late. Mom was a spinster. That's what they called them back then. She was 26. Isn't that funny? A lot of people don't get married till they're 26 now. But back then, that was a scandal. My Opa, it's my grandfather, it does work to the other side. It's not quite as dark, but you don't have to do it twice. He said, Mom, he said, Rena, you are so fussy, you need to get a man made by the carpenter, tailor suited to meet your needs. So she didn't do that. She met Pop. Okay, I checked the annual catalog because as demonstrators, we get to see it early. This seam binding ribbon is retiring, so get it. I'm sorry, I didn't do that on purpose. I didn't make this video and I didn't think to myself, okay, let's see how much stuff I can sell. But here, I've got this ribbon maker and I'm going around 3 times. 1, 2, I kind of want it bigger almost. I want a fluffier ribbon. You know what? I'm going to go a little wider. Usually I don't do that for a thin ribbon, but this one I just want it to be a little bit bigger. 1, 2, 3 around, and then I think that's 4. That's 3. Okay. And then you cross over in front, make an X. I don't need it this long. This thing is actually the bomb. So then you make an X like this. The top one goes around, and you just go like so. So now you've got both ends at the bottom, and you're just going to tie it once. You don't even have to tie it twice. Just once, just like you tie your shoelaces. Tie it, slip it off, and now you have a bow. Now, you can do it around your fingers, and then you will get a messier bow. But this is fine. And then I'm going to take some linen thread, and I'm just going to double it, like so. So I've got 2 pieces of linen thread. Looks like it's big enough to make a bow. And I'm just going to tie it around the middle. And you know what? I should have done this while it was on here. I'm going to put it back on. I'm going to see if I can. Here. Because then it holds it steady. I'm just going to take this thing off. Loop it through. There. Okay, perfect. I'm so smart. Okay, so now I'm just going to go like this. And I will tie it in a knot first. Here. In the middle. Like so. And then just a bow like you're tying your shoes. I'm not using the there. And now I'm going to grab my scissors. I have my ribbon scissors. And we're going to just cut that end. And then that was the loopy end. And now we're going to trim this one. And now we're going to remove our creation. And of course it looks silly like this. So I'm going to finicky it. How's that for a good word? Just going to make it go sideways. And then I'll fluff it up later and put it on my card. So we'll put that aside. Put this aside. And now we have our pieces. So let's get to work. I have a piece that is, ooh, it looks like a full card front, but we're going to find out in a minute. So backtrack, Jackie. I'm going to show you one of the tricks that I learned super early in as a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. So you start with an 8.5 by 11 piece of cardstock. Now in the Netherlands, it's slightly different. It's 21 centimeters by 29.8. So you're going to cut it in half. And I just have to find my cutting. Oh, here it is. Perfect. So if it was centimeters, you'd go to 10.5, but I'm going to 4 1/4 here. And then you're going to do 1 score with the gray blade. It feels like it's up, but that's okay. And then you're going to turn it, and you're either going to go to 14.8 centimeters or 5.5 inches. And now I'm going to cut. So the thing what I just did, in case you missed the magic, is I did 1 score, 1 cut for 2 cards instead of doing it twice. So here's my card. And I'm pretty sure this is the full front. Yeah, so it's 4 1/4 by 5.5. So it's 10.5 by 14.8 centimeters. So that's going to go on here. And I need to grab my ruler so I can give you the measurements for the other one. Okay, so I have these 2 pieces. I have a piece of the striped paper, and it is 3 3/4 by 5 or 9.5 centimeters by 12.5. But you know, if I was making this in centimeters, I would alter the sizes because your card is a little narrower and a little longer. So this one is very close, but it's a bit smaller. It's 3 1/2 by 5. And this one was, 3 3/4 by 5. Okay? So we're going to put those together. And then I have a piece of vellum that I tore. Okay? And I have to say that this card is not my original idea. I copied it from Kim McGillis, and she is a fellow Canadian demonstrator. I changed things up a little bit, but not much. She just did such a beautiful job. This is 3 inches by about 4 and then torn, okay? So we're going to put this on first. I like to use liquid adhesive. You want to order this now. It's going up by $2 for each one. So order it before May 1st to save lots and lots of money. And it'll be in the description underneath with the links. Okay. And that's just covering up your whole card front. So what it does, if you put your card itself through the embossing folder, you could do that, but it kind of weakens your card and makes it flimsy. So it's better to add a whole layer. It makes your card more sturdy, and of course it gives it a really nice look. So now this is going to go like that, a bit on an angle, and this one is going to go straight, like so. Okay, so that you don't want everything angled. The lines, it's better pleasing to the eye when the lines here mimic the top here. So So this one is going on an angle. And I'm putting it on as big of an angle as it will go on my card front, because I want as much as that stripe to be seen as possible. And you're just going to love this card when you see how it all gets put together. I don't think Kim did a video. And so sometimes I see work by other people and I think, okay, there's no video for this. So I will peek and see if she has like a blog post or something. If she does, I will link it so that you guys can check it out. So now we have this, and then take a peek. I'm just going to build it now. This is the oval from Framed and Festive. Then I built a nest. So what I did was, I'm going to show you how I did this, okay? But I'm just going to lay it out here. It's going to go at the bottom like so. Then I'm going to put my bow up here. And then I stamped Always Thinking of You, and I cut it. That's about a 1/2 inch by 3 inches. That's going to go underneath here like so. And then I could leave it just like that, but I want to do the branch underneath, this one, like so. So I always like to lay out my pieces before I put them together. And then the bird, and I want to alter the bird a little bit. So here we have the bird. I want to tie in the petal pink from the frame. So we have blending brushes, big and small. Now, can you see that there's just a slight tinge to these? You can wash your blending brushes. So wash them after you use them, and then you don't have to buy a blending brush for every color. They wash up a dream. So that's great to know. So I'm using the little one, and I'm using petal pink. So just slide that out of the way. Tap, tap, tap. Always start off your image so you don't get blobs, and then go on. So off and then on. Off and then on. And look how pretty. There's just a little tinge of pink. Whether that is accurate for this bird, it doesn't matter. We're taking some liberties, creative liberties. Okay, so now let's get our card back in the picture. We're going to build the nest. So he's going to sit there. He doesn't even need eggs. Perhaps his birds have flown out and he's wishing there was an egg. I think it's nice to, well, a little blue would be nice. Oh, you know what? I don't have blue. We're going to do pink eggs. See, and there's hardly anything there. It's just a little bit of sponging takes away the starkness of it. Okay. And if I had thought about the eggs earlier, I wouldn't have adhered the nest on there so well. So let me show you for a minute how to do that. So we have our detailed nest, and then we have this one, and you can see can you see? Yeah, there you can see that there's little embossed lines. If you spritz your cardstock first before running it through the embossing machine, you'll get a deeper line. But because I'm layering it, I didn't think to do that. So here we go. We've got our silicone mat. We're going to make a little glue puddle. So, and I had exciting stories. I did my class. I used the legendary Ride the Motorcycle set, which is carrying over into the new catalog. And I had some actual biker club guys come to card making. I was shocked. It made me so happy because it just blew away my stereotype as to who makes cards. So I put a little adhesive on the back, but not in the middle part, so I can tuck that bird in. Move this. So that's just going to go over top, like so. And then we're taking this leaf from the wisteria, and I shouldn't be using this scissors, but I'm just too lazy to get another one. I'm just going to cut this off, this branch. And then I want this one. And then I'm going to cut this little guy off too. And I'm just going to cut this and then go in and around that leaf. There. And that might be tucked underneath anyway, like so. So then we're going to put some adhesive on the back of the nest, like so. I didn't have to do it in the middle, but I did by accident. Hold your nest. Try not to get too much glue on your fingers. This is going to go down like so. And this one is going to peek up like this. And then if you want, we'll do this later. Now I'm going to put my bird on. I'll wait with the bird. The eggs. See, we're going to put a little bit of adhesive on the back of the eggs. Goodness, I don't know which is the good side and which is the bad. Okay, a little bit of adhesive, just a dot and a dot. And I should grab my tweezers, but I don't have them, so I'm sliding it right off to the edge of my table where you can't see. And I've picked it up, and I'm tucking it underneath that nest. See? Oh, isn't that great? See, because yeah, it's great. I'm not even going to explain. Because I didn't glue it down all the way to the edges, I can tuck it in a little bit. So it looks a little more organic, that those eggs aren't just floating in the nest. See? Oh my goodness, this is great. So 2 eggs. And now we're going to put it on this one here. Oh yes. All right. Now we're going to put more adhesive. It doesn't go right away. You should always store this upside down, then the adhesive is right where you need it to be. I use this at my class, so by a lot of people, so it's getting pretty empty. And I don't have my stand here for it. There we go. Now this adhesive, this Tombow adhesive, I don't know if I told you, it's going up by $2 in Canada per adhesive, so you want to get it now before it goes up. So now we have this, and then the branch. Okay, you know what? I'm going to stop with my nest building, and we're going to do this. I'm going to put this on. My goodness. A little more glue. There. Tap, tap, tap. There we go. And if you get the sense that I'm hurrying up a little bit, you've sensed that correctly. I just looked at the time, and as I'm recording this, it's 11:15. I have a coffee date at 11 with a team member. I'm like, oh no, I'm going to be late. And she's very punctual. This is not good. Okay. So now, this is going to go here. This is going to go there. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to put, do I have dimensionals? Okay, so what I did was I put 3 mini dimensionals on the back of this. And I'm going to put that a little bit that way. There. And now we're going to do our bird. And you guys can see the difference that is on here. And now I just want to see, I want this branch to go out a little bit because I don't want the bird just sitting in the middle of nowhere. Now the leaves I made with Pear Pizzazz. Pear Pizzazz is one of our retiring colors. Super sad, but there's going to be lots of other great colors. And it's important for Stampin' Up! To have their colors refreshed and nice and whatnot. So it's good. It's just like in your closet, you have to, I'm using the, what is this one? The light Granny Apple Green. That's a beautiful color too. There's lots of beautiful colors coming in. But check the retiring list and get the colors, the refills, the cardstock of the colors that you want. Soft Suede is also retiring. And I'm not sure if these were colored or not, these green leaves. I'm going to do it. And I just postponed my coffee date by 15 minutes, so I'm not running late and not stressed. There. I'm just quickly going underneath here. I can't remember. See, so this is where I've cased the card, but I don't know what Kim did. But I've decided that I'm coloring these leaves. And I'm not using both colors, so I'm doing it super simple. So when you buy the blends, you get a light and a dark, and you can shade beautifully. But I'm just doing it in one, and that looks nice too. They're beautiful markers. They are also going up in price. So if you don't have all your colors in your blends, get them now. Heads up. And you know what? If your list is long, get the starter kit, people. I'm a big starter kit fan. It's your best bet, your safest, your cheapest. You save shipping, you save tax, and after that you get a 20% discount on your, you know what? Now is not a good time for a hot flash. Here. And you know, if you don't manage to keep your minimum quarterlies, which is like about $400 Canadian every 3 months, nothing bad happens. You just drop. There. So I'm just doing that like so. And then I'm tucking this branch ahead of the leaf. And then this is where my bird is going to sit, right here. How cool is that? We're going to pop them up with a few dimensionals. Oh, you know what? I have a piece here that's doesn't have a sticker. Somehow the sticker got taken off. So that's perfect for me. There. And he's going to sit on the branch right like this. A little bit tucked underneath that leaf. Oh, I love it. See, and then if you want, see, this is going to go here now. We can pop that whole thing up or we can leave it flat. And here's the difference. Here I added a few flowers. Now, Kim added different flowers. She added flowers that she cut out of paper, but use whatever you have. And then you could tuck in, let's take a peek. Here we have the little leaves. So you could add some leaves and tuck them in your nest, you know, so that the nest is, you know, nests are kind of hiding in a tree. And then you kind of want the, like here, the eggs don't have to be totally exposed either. See how nice that looks to add just a few more little leaves? And there's like lots of leaf dyes that cut them all out. Now, I would normally adhere these. I'm not going to right now. But see, like so. And then for the big bow, we're going to use some glue dots. So I'm taking my bow and I'm shoving it on the glue dot. And you probably couldn't see it, but there it is. One glue dot is strong enough. These glue dots are amazing. And we're going to put it off to the side, move that a little bit so that we can see. And then we're going to pop that up with some dimensionals, and then we're going to add some gems. And then we're done. And it's a gorgeous card. I will blog about this card too later on, thepamperedstamper.com. And look, I put a dimensional right over top of that branch in case I didn't add enough adhesive there. So they do double duty. And I could have, I'm just going to go up a little bit. There, that looks good. I could have sponged the edges of this too to make it a little bit more, what's the word I'm looking for? Vintage. Now let's just move all this. So this is really pretty. I like it with the little flowers too. Adding the little flowers would look pretty. And now the last thing we're going to do is add a few gems. So I have these in color opal rounds, which will also be leaving because these are the colors that are going. Pale papaya. Fresh freesia is staying, but soft succulent early evening evergreen, they're going. So I just need to get a pokey tool. Pokey tool. Oh, it's up here. Now, I've seen other people do this, and I haven't used my end at all for a little while, so we'll see if it's any good. Oh, it works. Oh, it works. Here, look at that. Oh, this is the first time I'm doing this successfully, people. This is a moment. Look at that. Oh, I have discovered beautiful things. I can't believe it. There. So we have some gems. I can't believe how good this worked. I'm a believer. I've become a believer in this end of the Pick Me Up tool. Gosh, man, sometimes I can be just as stubborn as my mother. Mama, I forgive you for being so stubborn because your daughter, the Pampered Stamper, is equally stubborn. Do you know how long I've resisted using this thing because I had trouble with it a few times? Well, it's a dream. All right, guys, thanks a lot, Kim, for this beautiful card. And yeah, I'm going to adhere these leaves a little bit better, but I'm super happy with how that turned out. So be sure if you like these sets, order them because they're going to be gone. So the one is Wisteria Wishes and the other one is Nested Friends. Okay? So 160322 for Nested Friends, 159434 for Wisteria Wishes. The links will be in my video, and I will also be blogging about this and creating an online Zoom class and tutorial for this one. And there's a lot more of these. But anyway, great set. Lots of joy in it. Thank you for being here today. I'm hoping I'm going to have a wonderful day with my mama. And be sure to subscribe, and good luck in the draw for the Eden's Garden bundle. Have a super day. Bye.